You are listening to the Nexus Point. A quick note for our listeners. The interview you are about to hear, featuring host Alex Thorne and artist Tony Delmontt, is a real discussion of the Mercy album, a Michael Jackson project made using AI audio conversion technology. However, for creative and technical purposes, the voices of both the host and the guest are AI generated from the original transcript. This is not the original voice of the host or the guest. We encourage you to appreciate the creative and technical nature of the audio. Now, let's join Alex Thorne for the Nexus Point.
Welcome back to the Nexus Point. Today we are standing right at the intersection of music, technology, and celebrity legacy. My guest is the artist known as King of Pop AI, otherwise known as Tony Delmontt. Tony, you're responsible for some of the most talked about synthetic art in the digital space, and you've generated a buzz unlike anything we've heard before. We are just weeks away from the scheduled December 5th release of your full-length AI album, Mercy, which features Michael Jackson's unique voice and style. Tony, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Tony, let's cut right to the heart of the matter. The very idea of an AI-generated Michael Jackson album is provocative. Why Mercy? What is the central message or artistic statement you are trying to make by using cutting-edge technology to essentially resurrect the voice of one of the greatest and most heavily scrutinized artists in history?
It's just right. Everyone grew up on MJ in the family, so it's like a tribute.
That's a very touching sentiment, framing Mercy as a tribute that connects to a shared generational experience. But a tribute usually involves interpretation or cover art. This is an attempt to create genuinely new music in his voice. Can you walk us through the technical steps? How did you teach the AI to be Michael Jackson? Did you train the model on his acapellas, his vocal runs, or perhaps a vast catalog of his live performances?
Well, first off, Mercy is picked because I know there's going to be some backlash about the AI, so we are just asking to have mercy on the music and enjoy it for what it is. We put almost 2 years into making this. We wrote and recorded songs and trained the vocals from the Bad era. It has the off-the-wall Thriller feel to it. We did all the runs and trained the AI to the T. Some songs just didn't work out for lots of different reasons, but we picked the best ones.
That's a very candid explanation for the title, Tony. Asking for mercy speaks volumes about anticipating the ethical storm this album is likely to generate. It's clear this is not a quick project. You've dedicated nearly 2 years to its development. You mentioned specifically training the vocals from the Bad era and aiming for the classic vibe of Off the Wall and Thriller. That sounds like meticulous work. Can you elaborate on the human element in that process? When you say, "We wrote and recorded songs and we did all the runs," who is the we? And how did your team ensure the melodies and the signature vocal intricacies felt authentic before the AI even touched them?
We, meaning we had a few different artists to help make the music and record background vocals or main vocals or even ad-libs. Artists like Star Soul Funk Band, Mysic Disco, Abe Trevor, and a few artists that do not want to be named. We did nothing but train our ear for the sounds, just listen to the albums Off the Wall and Thriller even in our sleep. Some were staying up creating melodies, and sometimes I woke up in the middle of the night to write lyrics. We also studied subject topics. The co-writers of the song Dancer, a song from the album, he wrote 75% of it in one day. He's awesome for that. Before we would convert the vocals, we had to map out the vocals, lots of work. We worked on like 4 different songs so we wouldn't burn out. When we got tired or ran out of ideas for one, we would flip to another one.
That is an incredible glimpse into the dedication involved. It sounds like a true collective effort. So you have this core team, Star Soul Funk Band, Mysic Disco, Abe Trevor, and others, who immerse themselves in the Jackson sound, essentially composing these songs as if they were recording back in the late 70s or early 80s. You were acting as genuine songwriters and producers, using different tracks to avoid burnout. A classic production technique. But here's the pivotal question about your medium. You've created a beautiful song, like Dancer, 75% written in a single day. You then have these human artists performing the vocals, which you then map out and feed to the AI model. Why convert it at all? If you have human performers who can channel that sound so authentically, why introduce the AI layer to replace those human voices with the synthesized Michael Jackson sound?
Well, I personally didn't write Dancer. I just did background. But the person who wrote it sang it. But we converted it because none of us sound like Michael. So we wanted this to be a full feel of a Michael Jackson style album with the AI conversation of the vocals.
That makes perfect sense. The goal isn't just to mimic the style of the music, but to deliver the ultimate fantasy for the fans. Hearing Michael Jackson himself perform brand new material. You're using the AI as the final, necessary tool to achieve that authenticity of voice. However, this is where the controversy lives. When you use AI to convert a song written by one of your collaborators, like the person who sang the original demo of Dancer, into the voice of Michael Jackson, you are creating a work that many will interpret as being from a specific deceased artist. How do you handle the ethical and moral concerns about placing the words and the voice of a deepfake personality onto music that artist never approved or created?
It's just for the love of MJ and the music to keep the music alive, and that is why we named it Mercy, because we know some will not like it, some will love it. We own the songs, but we are just giving people something. It's a tribute. How do you feel about hearing it? I mean, we have 2 songs released. Have you heard them?
I appreciate your directness, Tony. It's a clear artistic mission, giving the fans what they can never get otherwise, driven purely by the love of MJ. And yes, I have listened to the 2 songs you've released as singles. They are technically stunning. The fidelity of the AI voice is truly remarkable, especially the nuances and breath sounds. However, the debate surrounding this isn't just about love. It's about ownership and agency. When you title your work Mercy, it acknowledges the potential for offense. Many in the Michael Jackson fan community and the music industry at large view this not as a tribute, but as a violation, a disrespect of an artist's personal and private work. You said you own the songs you created, but do you believe you also own the right to use Michael Jackson's likeness and voice to deliver them? Where is the line between loving tribute and an unauthorized creative act?
We are not selling the music that we made. We are giving it out for free. People can download it, stream it. We only post it on free platforms, no Spotify or Apple, because we don't want any issues. It is not really Michael Jackson. And yes, some will see it as disrespect, some may not. We ourselves are fans, and others get to hear how artists can come together and make music surrounding an artist we all love. Some people look at MJ impersonators as disrespect, but that does not stop them from doing it. More people love it than hate it. If no one did anything to keep the music or legacy of a great artist alive, then they never cared for the artist, or the artist never made an impact.
That distinction is crucial, Tony. You're making a strong case that your defense against commercial exploitation and legal pushback is that you are not selling Mercy. You're distributing it freely. It's an act of cultural gifting, not profiteering. You view this as the modern equivalent of an impersonator, and you believe the positive impact on the fan base outweighs the negative reactions. You also make a powerful statement that to not act, to not create, would suggest a failure to truly care about the artist's legacy. But let's pivot slightly to the broader artistic statement you're making with King of Pop AI. By successfully replicating a voice and a style so flawlessly, you've shown that AI can now generate new, highly authentic music from any point in the past. Do you worry that this technology will eventually render human creativity obsolete or flood the market with cheap imitations, making it harder for new, original human artists to break through?
No, I do not, because it's art. If you want to just profit off it, your art will not be true and only in black and white. But if you put love in your art and love what you do, it will shine with bright colors from that love. So AI is just a tool, just like everything else.
That is a beautifully articulated philosophy, Tony. You're saying the true dividing line isn't the technology, it's the intent. AI is just another brush or instrument, but if the art is driven by profit, it's colorless and hollow. If it's driven by love and passion, it shines. That really reframes the whole conversation. Let's talk about the future then. Since Mercy is coming out on December 5th, what is the life cycle for King of Pop AI after that? If this project is fueled purely by passion and not profit, how do you sustain this level of meticulous, 2-year dedication? What does success look like for Mercy, and what comes next for Tony Delmontt in your collective of inspired artists?
Well, not sure. It's all up to the people. If it is taken well, we spent a lot of time and money on this project and hope that will reflect in the music. I would love to make more music, but that is not totally up to me. I would love to work with the same team again, but it's up to everyone, not just me. We recorded a number of songs for this project with converted vocals that did not fit. Not sure what we will be doing with them, but yeah, would love to continue to do more. It was very fun. I think if we had the money, there would be no problem. But again, that is not up to me.
That is the reality check that often follows massive creative undertakings. You've clearly enjoyed the process, calling it very fun, and you have a catalog of unreleased tracks. So let's zoom in on that potential future. If the money and resources appeared, what is the next great artistic challenge you would tackle with AI? Would you continue solely with the Michael Jackson legacy? Or is there another medium, or even another iconic figure, that you feel is ripe for this kind of AI-driven resurrection?
I wouldn't call it an AI-driven resurrection. It is art and it's what we love to do. However we do it, but not sure. I guess that would be something to think about. But another MJ project with the same team is definitely on the table for me.
That's a very honest and open-ended answer. It seems the Michael Jackson legacy remains the deepest well of inspiration for King of Pop AI. And the success of Mercy will ultimately determine the next steps for this fascinating collective of artists. Tony Delmontt, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your process and your philosophy with us today.
Thank you for having me.
That was Tony Delmontt, the artist behind King of Pop AI, discussing the upcoming AI Michael Jackson album, Mercy. You can find links to the singles and more information about the December 5th release in the show notes. From all of us here at the Nexus Point, thank you for tuning in.